Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Live. Thank you for joining me. Kim will be here soon, shortly. She's on her way. But I didn't want to start late because I don't know if you guys move this into your time. And today our topic is about how you can move from fear to find a resolution. And there are some tools to do this. And I hate to keep reiterating the word tools, but we want you to be able to look at the things that are happening in your life and be able to walk through them with clarity, with confidence. And I guess to get to a place, we want you to get to a place where your main focus is what your desire is and where you want to go. And in order to do that, you need to find ways where you can change your thinking in the moment that you have to. And I know it sounds like, oh, in the midst of drama and anxiety, in the midst of a crisis or a loss, how do you think like that when you have to deal with the emotion of it all? Well, in that moment, when you're dealing with whatever it is, if you can start to see these things as, I know we all go, oh, why did this happen? Why is this happening? Why is this going on? Why? Aside from a loss, and I mean this, aside from a loss, if there's something going on in your life that's very dramatic or traumatic, and fear is what's usually keeping you in a place, whether it's a job that you're not happy with, or a relationship that's not really working, or a group of people that you just aren't finding a lot of happiness and positive energy around. You know, why aren't you moving on from that? What is keeping you in that place? Clearly, change is going to be better than staying where you are. And what's the fear? Moving on? Is the fear maybe being alone? Have you ever stopped to say, like, well, you know, in that instant that you're going, well, I don't want to be alone, can you stop for a second and think, well, maybe being alone isn't going to be so bad? Like, I know a lot of people, when they change and they are alone for the first time, it's a little scary. But how scary is it when you start to find time for yourself and time to really reflect on who you really are and be able to really go deep enough to have that time and that quiet space to really figure out who you are and what has brought you to your place. We've all got skeletons, we've all got lessons, we've all gotten through all of the trauma that we've experienced in our life. I mean, if you look at it, everything that's ever happened to you to bring you to a place where you are now has been a building block. And when you look back and look at those lessons, and then you start seeing how many of them that you repeated, and listen, I'll take full responsibility for repeating a lot of the same mistakes until I finally got it, and learning through my experiences. And where I am right now, I have found that my why has been brought to me by using all of the situations that my journey has brought me to. And in the worst of times, let's say 20 years ago, I found meditation and I started meditating. And whatever happened from there on, I've always used meditation as a tool. It gives me that minute or 5 minutes or 10 minutes or an hour of just going within, where I'm finding all of the answers that I need. So many of us so usually go out here to look for the answers that we've already got. And if you can learn to find them and use them and listen to them and hear them, it's amazing how your whole day progresses, and you start to be able to look here, and all of the drama and all of the things that are outwardly affecting us become like a fog, become like something that we can't even focus on anymore, and it helps us to focus here. So what if we have time alone? If you're not happy, you actually become a healthier you by letting go of the fear of moving on, changing things. Change is good. I've experienced all these fears a few times. The lessons were the tools where I wasn't real clear on why I was allowing things to repeat in my life. And then when I really looked inside and said, what's the thought? Like, think about what's the thought right now. Think of a fear right now. Think of a question right now. Why are you in the position that you're in? And what is it that's frustrating you so much? And why aren't you seeing past? Look at the lesson. What should you be learning by this? So Kim was really helpful in clearing some things this weekend, and I did also today by saging. And sometimes when we sage, what happens is not only are you clearing your space out here, but just being in an area where something is clearing, it can help to clear things internally and help us to get to clarity about what we're thinking about and what our resolutions can be. So one of them is to clear your space, clear your air. It helps you to clear your mind. And then once you sage, take that calmness, take that time to meditate a little bit and really ask your guides, what am I supposed to be learning here? What's the solution for this issue? Why am I afraid of this? Why don't I have to be afraid? You know why you don't have to be afraid? Because the more you clear the fears out of your life, the stronger you get. And when you start to really understand that personal power that we all have and the intelligence that we all have access to let go of the things that are bringing us to that fearful place, magic begins to happen. And I know a lot of people go poo-poo, magic, whatever. Let me tell you something. The day magic happens in your life and you start to believe, it starts flowing in. Because I could tell you stories, I could tell you things, and if I didn't believe in the magic of all that's available to us, to you, to me, to the next guy, I don't think that my life would have taken the turn that it is. And when you think that there's things that you can't really achieve, and you think that there's things that somebody else is doing that you can't do, you're the only one stopping yourself. And, you know, I've been through enough things where I was so fearful. There's a lot of things that have happened in my life. I'm surprised I'm not, like, you know, in a white jacket, locked up in a room somewhere. And I've noticed and I have found that it's not a pill that took those things away. It's not being medicated for the rest of my life so that I can deal with life's problems. That doesn't help. That doesn't help us. If that gets you to the place where you can kind of calm and start to think about what's your solution, that's one thing. But if you don't need to go there and you really want to find what's going on, you can't cloud your mind. You can't get clarity when you're doing things that are, you know, taking you out of your realistic situation. You know, take a minute or two today. Take a minute or two next time something happens, as hard as it is. Just do this. Take a minute or two. If you've got a crystal on your desk, or you've got a crystal on your coffee table, or you've got a crystal in your car if you're listening or whatever, hold it, close your eyes for a moment, take a deep breath, and really ask for divine guidance. Really ask to go within and find that calm, find that place of no fear, because right then and there, you just brought yourself to a place of no fear. That quickly, this can happen. If you stay in a situation that is not healthy for you, and I mean healthy physically, healthy emotionally, if you're doing that to yourself, you know what you lose? You lose yourself. Are you tired of losing yourself, being engulfed by fear? Fear that you're allowing to happen because of a situation that you're not looking clearly? Start looking clearly. What's keeping you there? What's real about fear? False evidence appearing real. And I can talk about replacing it with faith, but I'm talking about clear it out. Use the tools. You have sage, clear your space, clear your mind. You have crystals, raise your vibration, because fear is such a low energy that when you're holding certain crystals, any crystal really is going to be a higher vibration than fear. But just by holding yourself in a place of clarity, that's a vibration that's higher than fear. You get your resolution when you allow yourself to get into just yourself. You are able to connect with your personal power. You're able to connect with your heart energy. You're able to connect with your creative abilities. You're able to ground yourself. You're able to, in your mind, speak your truth and not be in denial, letting go of things that have clouded you before because you didn't want to face what you're really afraid of. You're able to connect with your third eye, your intuition, hearing answers that maybe you never heard before. You know, when you look at all of the things that you've been through and you look at the strengths that you've acquired throughout your journey, and we all have in different ways, when you look back at your situations and you can really look back and say, I got through that and I allowed my strength to come through and find it at that moment that I needed it. Why would you be fearful now? Why would you not think you have a solution for your fear right now? Get to that calm place. Get to that place where you find all the answers for your questions and listen to them coming through here. You know, your crown chakra, allowing for the divine to come in, listening to it in your mind's eye, seeing life for what it really is, not being a victim, understanding that all of these things that we've faced in our life. I mean, personally, what do you want me to tell you? I've been in a marriage that really could have crippled me emotionally, being somebody's babysitter, being somebody's mother, being physically beaten down to a place where I could have just one day never woken up. No, one day I woke up and I was like, what are you doing? What are you afraid of? Look what you're living in. Is this like right? No. I really found inside that, no, I deserve better than that. No, I'm so much smarter than that. No, I have so much more to offer from that. And you know what I found from that? My why. How I got to here. And you know what it is? I learned that there's a place better than that fear that locked me into that abusive place. And when I got past that day, it changed the rest of my life. It changed the last 22 years of my life. And you know what I want to do? I want to scream from the rooftops that there's an answer, there's a solution, there's a remedy for every single emotion, physicality that you're in, whatever it is, there's a solution. And if I can share this with the world, if we can share this with the world, where we've been and where we've gotten to, and bring you from A to C with just kind of flowing through B, get you there faster, and we can help you through this by, tell somebody your story. Tell somebody your story, but don't tell it in a victim way. Tell it in a way that you saw what you were creating in your life, and the minute you created the way out, that's when you came to the place where you can share your story and help one person, 10 people, 100 people with just one tool. Today, go grab some sage, take a few minutes, couple deep breaths, take a good look at what's going around you, surrender, give it up, give it up to God, let it go, let God, whatever, and really let it be the cloud. Don't be clouded by it. Do you understand that? Don't be in the cloud of it. Let it go and don't be clouded. Find your clarity. Find your why today. Find your solution today. Don't live in fear. There's nothing like the day you come out of that cloud. I'm telling you, I have nothing but gratitude for the last 22, 23 years of my life and the lessons that all of my ups and downs have taught me. And I'm grateful. I'm in such gratitude. My children, my parents, my friends, my family, my cousins, all of the family here at Holistic Apothecary, and the friends and the relationships that have grown from here. And a lot of you are a part of that. And, one day when you really get through your stuff and you're able to pass on one thing that's going to bring somebody else to their why and figure out their solution from that, let me tell you something. Once you experience that, there's no going back. There's no going back. And find out if you're emotionally connected to what's going on. And in that low vibration, I'm telling you, you bring in the tools, you bring in the sage, you bring in the essential oils, you bring in the crystals, you bring in whatever works for you to raise your vibration, and it's going to really take you out of, where you are. Emotion is energy in motion. And what you need to do is you need to change the frequency of that energy that's bringing you into that motion that you're in, and change it. And in that moment, yes, I know it sounds tough, but in that moment, change your emotion. Change it. You can change it today. And today can be the whole start of the rest of your life. Ask to be clear, ask to be open, ask for Kim to show up right at the right moment.
Hi.
This is great.
I just parked very illegally.
Welcome. We don't care. That's all right. Ambler's a great town.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. So I talked about how
I saw it. I was watching.
You were. So go ahead, chime in.
So a couple things about this topic. I will definitely say yesterday I was having a moment, and I was going to call Phyllis and text Phyllis very early in the morning, and I thought, no. And I was losing it. I was filled with anxiety. And I thought, why am I here? How am I going to get out of my feelings? And then I thought, what would Phyllis say? What would I say to Phyllis? What would I ask her? Right?
What would you
so
ask?
It's like your prayer. So whether you're talking to God, I was trying to actually visualize with angels, and I couldn't get the visualization going. So I was like, Phyllis, what would Phyllis say? And I went through a conversation with Phyllis in my mind. And I texted her a little while later. I was like, thank you so much. And she was like, for what? But I also saged. And I saw somebody else on Facebook ask about sage. And
it's wonderful.
It's like an old Indian custom, right?
Many, many cultures have used sage, frankincense, all kinds of different resin incense.
Yeah. Sage,
mostly to clear, the vibration of the sage is higher than anything negative or lower.
Yeah.
And it clears the space, it clears your whole energy field.
So I light my sage, and typically with sage, you light it, it goes out, it starts smoking.
Yeah, we had a little, the fire department was here today.
Okay, mine too. Mine was billowing. I'm not even kidding you. My bowl was hot. My whole house was filled with smoke. Thankfully, it was just me. But I was like, wow, we must have a lot of negativity hanging out in this house right now. So literally, it was my dog was like... But
that used to be my kids when they came home from school.
I've never had that with sage. I've only seen a little piece, and for me it was always you light it and then you have some smoke. I'm like, no, I want some really good. I want really good.
Get what you need. You must have really needed.
So that's what happened. It was and I went through my entire house with that gust of smoke. Not just the area. It just kept going. My bowl was hot, everything, and I was like, so then what do you say when you're saging, right? So really, it depends. I'm Catholic. I come from that kind of background, but I also am very spiritual, and so there's a lot of different things that you could say, but I was just release the negativity, release, all the way through, right? So short of the story is that by the end of all of that, and I'm not even kidding you, where I was at, negativity knocked on my door.
How much time did it take you?
I truly don't even know. I kind of had a lapse of time while I was doing, because I was crumbling 1 minute, and then the next minute I'm doing all this stuff.
And you can do this, like she said, just in a few minutes.
Yeah, and so I was meditative. I was trying to pull at everything, because I'm I know how to do all this, and you're freaking out, and I'm okay, get it together. And so I did. And I'm going to say within 2 hours period of time, just overall from like start to end, all of a sudden, all this good stuff came in.
That's right.
Like
That's
my entire everything changed. Even the situation that I was having anxiety about in that moment.
It's like you open the flood doors.
That's what happened.
You open the flood doors and
Yeah.
just magic and
Yeah.
miracles just in that moment.
Yes.
Like, you know, you have that choice, and we've said this. You have the
Mm-hmm.
choice. You can stay in your stuff, or you can make a decision to change. And as much as this sounds like woo-woo whatever, it's not. It works. And if you really want to implement tools, listen.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is
not
what-
even kidding. Like, I texted her and I was like, "You're not gonna believe what happened," blah, 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 all this stuff. And basically, you know, first of all, I'm living it live. Pretty much everything we're going through in different moments.
Oh,
You know,
we
you
are.
have all these highs and lows in life. And I will definitely say, of all of my lessons, right? I think there was a time that I've dulled my senses with alcohol or what have you, and now I will say that I have felt every pain, I have felt every joy, and I love the joy. Love it. I can't get enough of the joy. So when you're in the throes of the pain, and like I was in all kinds of weird places at this time yesterday, afterwards, I was so chill.
After the sage.
After all that,
after
I was like, okay.
Just getting to yourself.
Right. Now today, like just now, I was in this like awesome experience that, you know, ran over, of course, because I'm in real estate and that's what happens. But I was feeling the top of my game.
That's
you
right.
know?
That's how it happens.
And even into last night, I was on top of my game. And today I feel so much more empowered than I did yesterday where I was in that crumbling time.
And don't you find sometimes people, when they're in that, it's almost like they claim it.
Yeah.
And you got to stop claiming
Yes.
it too.
Yes.
Like, this is really, you need to be conscious about what you want to feel, and
Sure.
then make the decision what you want to feel,
Yeah.
and then do something about
Because
it.
that was it. I
Yeah,
did
stop
not
hanging
want
around
to.
in your stuff.
I didn't want to stay there. That was the point.
Right.
And I've been experiencing a lot of highs and lows lately. And in the lows, I have made very clear decisions, even if it's taken me a couple hours drive or like a go sit in the park, sunshine, whatever. I'm not going to stay there. And that is a very conscious decision.
Right.
And when I move through that moment, the joy that you feel and the empowerment that you feel, it's like now multiplied. And I saw so many messages today, even the lady I was just with, I made copies for her somewhere. And on the back of the copies that I was making for her was, and she's an older woman, she was looking, or she wrote down, I don't know how many years this was, about meditation, about what you're seeking is seeking
That's right.
you. Okay, this was the most random thing. It was like on the back of a set of blueprints that I just copied. It was just like, oh, okay. And I've gotten numerous messages, including some like double digit numbers as I was flying down 309 to get here. And it was like pretty much saying, relax. You're going to get there. You're going to be fine. And that is what that's been my experience, and that is why I had to get here to tell you.
I'm glad that's what you
Okay.
were thinking. I'm glad
You
that's
had
what you were
to.
thinking. When's the new moon, Giuseppe?
Saturday.
Saturday. Okay, so you know what? Perfect timing. Use the energy of the new moon to begin anew.
Yeah.
Begin anew. Use what's available to you.
Mhm.
The sage, the crystals, the new moon.
Yeah.
Use these things to your advantage.
Yeah.
That's why they're there.
Yeah.
Like if you're holding on to your stuff, then you know, like that's on you. Let go of your fears
Yeah.
and begin a whole new looking at the resolutions
Mhm.
to what you're so fearful of.
And also, make sure that you keep surrounding yourself with the people who are going to feed that part of you.
Exactly.
Because I am in, and I want to thank Jamie and Anne-Marie, who are always watching, and also my very good friends, Kate and Melissa, you know, my boys.
Yeah, we're very grateful
Yeah.
to everybody that's, you know,
Like, and
engaged
so
here.
they're
Please share.
they're the ones though, like I have other friends that could just go down the rabbit hole with me and stay there. But I don't really see them that often anymore because I don't want to.
That's right.
You know, because I want I want you to say, you're going to be fine.
That's
You're
right.
always going to be fine.
That's right. And you're going to notice that when you raise your vibration, I did a meditation class last night, and this actually was one of the topics we were talking about afterwards. When you raise your vibration by finding your clarity and being in your space, that higher vibration stays with you, and you're actually bringing in new information into your cells, into your body, which is really in a light. It's actually really light that we're getting. Light is information. And the more you change your perception and raise your vibration, the brighter and the more expansive your light becomes. And they're not really conscious of this, but those people that are a lower vibration, that are still carrying around their drama, that still want to draw you in, actually can't, like, they're going like this, like, all of a sudden they start getting out of the picture because they can't be in that brightness, and they don't even know it, because even though they can't see it, their energy can feel it. And that's why people drop away. All of a sudden, a year later, you're like, oh, I haven't seen so-and-so. Now, it's not the case with everybody. Life happens. But you'll notice that separation, and it's because the energy, because you're allowing yourself to let go of those denser vibrations. Fear is a denser vibration. And when you let it go, you raise your vibration.
Yep.
These are all the kind of things. I know we're really getting segued here, but like,
well,
it is
for
what
real.
it is.
Those are the things that are catapulting us towards what we want and away from what we don't want.
And can I make a huge point here? I really want to say to people, I'm not telling anybody to get off medication, okay? Because I know there's a bunch of you out there going, oh, yeah. I'm not saying get off a medication. But if you're taking a medication that is dumbing you down to your reality, how are you going to fix things?
Yeah.
Be on a medication the rest of your life? I really feel like we're over-medicated when we're just needing to deal with life's life. You know, when we were kids, our age, we didn't get a pill because we didn't like the way we were doing things at home, or we weren't allowed out, or we weren't given a pill because we couldn't sit still in school. We were bored. We were bored. They gave us a pill for being bored. Now, there's so much medication for us not to be who we really are that we are being dumbed down. And I'm telling you, you want to deal with life on life's terms, you want to excel, you want to find joy, you want to find happiness, start facing life, get rid of your fear, and get with the program. It's called Learn Your Lesson, move on, be grateful for what you have learned and where life has brought you, because where you are is exactly where you're supposed to be, and you let go of that fear, you do these things we're telling you to do, and move on like we are, like we have. Every day is a learning experience. We don't know all the answers, but you know what? We're not afraid to find out a few more and help you to figure it out too.
Yeah.
Because we want to bring you to that great place where you can turn other people onto it. You know what it's like to be able to get through something, and then all of a sudden you meet somebody that really needed to hear that, and their life gets better from it?
Yeah.
That's what we hope that we're doing for you by doing this.
Yeah.
So
today is 222. That's an angel number
Love
of
it.
Keep the Faith.
hey, all you 22s out there.
Yep, today's my mom's birthday, actually, so happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday.
And so, 222, Keep the Faith, and we're going into the New Moon weekend.
New Moon weekend.
Very exciting. We got a lot of new stuff to be doing.
That's right. So we love you. We're so happy for those that you that have joined us today. Keep coming back. Make sure, please, write us some questions. Let us know if we've helped. Let us know if there's other things we can help with. And we just love you for being a part of this.
Yep. Bye.
Have a
great
beautiful
week.
day. Have a great week.